And now, I have the pleasure to introduce to you the mayor of the great city of San Francisco, the Honorable Edwin M. Lee, followed by Executive Director of the Interfaith Council, Michael Pappas. Mayor Lee.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my personal honor and pleasure to join all of you here today, along with the Interfaith Council and our fantastic orchestra and opera, and to celebrate and commemorate this 9/11 event. A decade after the terrorist attacks that occurred on 9/11, we continue to struggle to make sense of the terrible events of that day. While San Francisco is more than 3,000 miles away from the attacks on Twin Towers and the Pentagon, we felt the devastation and loss keenly in our city, and we will continue to remember and honor those who perished. It is important to me and to the people of San Francisco that we remember and honor the fallen, including hometown American heroes like Betty Ong and Mark Bingham. Betty's telephone call from American Airlines Flight 11 was the first indication that America was under attack, and she relayed vital information to the ground crew. Mark wrestled for control of United Airlines Flight 93 rather than allow hijackers to fulfill their mission. 10 years ago, we also learned about the final moments of San Francisco resident Melissa Hughes, who was the victim of terrorism in the Twin Towers. To read about her final phone calls to her loved ones is just as heartbreaking today as it was 10 years ago. To all the families across the nation who suffered and still suffer today, we offer our profound sympathies. While we remember these and other victims and first responders, we should take time to reflect on what 9/11 means for all of us and to take to heart President Barack Obama's call to come together in the spirit of service and unity. There are many events in San Francisco, from sporting events to festivals and other community events today, that help us do that while we honor the victims and celebrate the service and heroism of our first responders and military personnel. One such way is to commemorate the day with peaceful and unifying nature of music as today's event. Earlier this morning, I joined over 500 volunteers with the Interfaith Council at the Hands on the Bay area. Another way we can remember and honor the tragic events of 10 years ago is to make sure that as a city, as families, and as individuals, we are prepared for emergencies, whether man-made or natural disasters. September marks National Preparedness Month, and the city's website, 72hours.org, stands ready to assist you, whether you are making a family emergency plan, building a disaster kit, or need voluntary training. Since September 11th, 2001, San Francisco has greatly improved its ability to prepare for, respond to, and recover from emergencies. Just this month, I announced the creation of the Joint Powers Authority to govern a Bay Area-wide public safety communication system after the Bay Area was awarded a $50 million grant to build a broadband communications network for public safety agencies. We know that emergencies don't stop at our city borders, and we must be prepared to seamlessly communicate with other public safety personnel throughout the Bay Area. We have also strengthened our infrastructure, trained our personnel, and are preparing the community so that we can rapidly recover from any emergency. It is now 10 years later, and we are more prepared, stronger, and ready. The 9/11 attacks represent an unimaginable tragedy in the history of our country. But at the same time, the lessons learned from that day continue to help us grow and become stronger. The events of September 11, 2001 changed the world and redefined our nation, not only in the scope of the tragedy, but also in the demonstration of compassion and generosity that occurred in the hours, weeks, and months following. In San Francisco and around the country, individuals stepped up to give blood, collect donations, and volunteer their time as a show of support for our nation. Let us remember those who perished 10 years ago, who protected us from grave danger and kept our country safe. The first responders who risked their lives for us, the police officers who protected us, and the firefighters who had courage to keep us from harm, and the paramedics who care for us are all in our hearts today. Their important contribution to serving and protecting our diverse community should always be remembered and acknowledged. It is now 10 years later, and we are more prepared, stronger, and ready. I want to personally thank our men and women, the first responders who protect us from grave danger and keep our country safe. These first responders risk their lives for us every single day. From the police officers who protect us, the firefighters who courageously keep us from harm, and the paramedics who care for us, our words cannot describe our thankfulness for your heroism every day and the sacrifices that you've undertaken to keep our communities and our city and our country safe. May God bless San Francisco. May God bless America. Thank you very much.